Hey guys, it's Terez Paylor with the Kansas City Star. Don't have Vahe here, but we got 3/4 to the 18. That's okay. We're still bringing the heat, right? Sam Mellinger, Blair, Kerkhoff. Got to witness a pretty interesting game, man. I mean, none of us could have predicted it. Even if we saw it coming in a way, you can't give them the benefit of the doubt after the way they've lost against the Broncos for the last 4 years. But it was a heck of a game, a lot of fun to watch. And like you guys, I'm very interested to see what my colleagues have to say about this thing. So let's go ahead. We're going to do this thing 3 and out. Let's go. Sam, let's go. What do you got? What's your big takeaway from this game?
Well, the first thing is going to be that Peyton Manning was horrendous.
Yeah.
I think when we were walking into the game, I think we both said to each other, Chiefs could win, probably not going to win.
Yeah.
But if you knew that Peyton Manning was going to play like that, the Chiefs were definitely going to win.
Yeah.
But to me, you know, like we work at the Kansas City newspaper, right? So let's talk about the Chiefs a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't actually think that they were. I thought they were good. They weren't great by any stretch. They, if they're gonna be, I guess my 2 takeaways. Peyton Manning, this is probably it for him this season. And the other one is, if the Chiefs are as good as they think they are, they're gonna have to play better than that to get into the playoffs.
I agree. Blair, what's your takeaway from this
Well,
game?
it's something that you asked Alex Smith after the game I thought was pretty good. In a game like this, you know, they had to settle for 5 Cairo Santos field goals, but, you know, they were playing from ahead and not behind.
Yeah.
And unlike Cincinnati, where they were playing from behind, and Cairo was, you know, kicking field goals the whole game, I just think it was important for them to keep scoring one way or the other. And look, field goals are, you know, you want touchdowns. Field goals are, you know, it's not desired. But I just thought it was important for them to keep scoring. At least they did that. One of the things that strikes me about the team the last few weeks is how much energy they get from 2 guys who weren't on the team last year. Charkandrick West on the offense, Marcus Peters on the defense.
Absolutely.
2 guys that give them so much energy. We went into this season not knowing anything about those guys, and they were terrific. And to speak to Sam's point, worst passer rating performance in Peyton Manning's history.
By far.
We saw history out here today.
Yeah, and they definitely get the rap triple A home for that. Shout out to the defense for doing that, because no one actually. That's the first time Manning has ever. Wait, that's the first time Manning has ever had a 0 passer rating, right? Yeah, they get that again, because that, you know, that's a special thing. This is a great guy, right? So shout out to the Chiefs defense for that. And you mentioned Marcus Peters, and this is a guy, like I mentioned like this a month ago. Like, that guy's won me over. That guy's a heck of a player. Like, when you got a cornerback that can read routes and can read tails from receivers, that's how he's making plays on all these balls. Like, he understands route concepts, and he understands like when a receiver might jump into a route. He understands all that. He sees it with his eyes, and that's part of what makes him so good. But I'm curious about you too, like about Peters. What impressed you about him?
Well, 2 things. First of all, you don't even crack a smile when you do that. Like, you're just acting like that was a normal thing.
I'm definitely going to try and keep the straight face with it.
Wow. But I love Marcus Peters. I think he's been fabulous. I think that there's still, and we saw some glimpses of it here, there's still some balance that he has to make between, you know, focusing on football and letting his emotions, you know, get the better of him at times. But I just think that he is, by NFL cornerback standards, he's not like elite athlete. Like, I mean, just raw physical talent. But I think his brain, I think he's a really smart, advanced, you know, football player of reading routes, knowing when, you know, when certain routes are coming. There was one play early in the game. Manning floated a ball to Demaryius Thomas, I think, and Peters went for the pick. And, you know, maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, he'll just make the tackle if he knows he can't get to the ball. But if you're going to err, be aggressive. I got no problem with that.
And you know what? Like, how many times did we see guys like kind of around balls last year at corner? And I don't think it was a ton. Like, every time we look at Peters, he's like around the ball.
Always,
and he gets credit for that.
The team only had 6 interceptions last year.
Right.
I mean, that's how few times they were around the ball.
Exactly.
But, I think that's right. I agree with that. That if the guy's going to make mistakes, let him be aggressive mistakes. And they kept throwing at him. And you know, Manning kept throwing at him. And they got to figure that. That's twice he's picked off Manning this year.
Right.
How many dropped one? And he could have had a 3rd one too.
Right. How many interceptions did the Chiefs have today?
Count them, 5. By 5 different guys.
And you know what? You think about this. Last year, they had 6. They had 6 interceptions last year, man. And that was like tied for last in the league. So, yeah, you're right. They get that for that. if it comes up. I don't know if it's gonna come up. What are we doing? I'm gonna cut this part.
Smile either way.
No, I wanted to. Dang, my phone's messed up. All right. Well, you gotta enjoy it while you get it. You gotta enjoy the triple air horn while you get it, right? Just like Chiefs gotta enjoy this win. You fans have been through a lot with this team, man. 1-5 starter, everybody jumps off the bandwagon.
Playoff implications.
Right.
Now,
yeah. I mean, they're legitimately in the
game
mix.
out.
And here's the thing. Like I did the math. They have 7 more games to play. They play 5 opponents. Those guys are 15 and 31. They have their combined 15 and 31, and they play one of the 2-7 teams twice in San Diego. So like you're probably gonna split with Oakland. Oakland's better than everyone thought.
Oakland's good.
Oakland's good. Like they're competitive. That's a good football team. But like this is right there. This is right there.
The only team that's in the playoff picture right now that's on their schedule is Buffalo.
Right.
And they got that game at home.
And it's at home.
They'll probably be favored.
So like, you guys kind of mentioned this when we were downstairs in the locker room walking to the thing. This is setting up for an Indianapolis part 2, an Indianapolis wild card trip part 2. I can't imagine you guys would think that's a lot of fun after what happened there last time. But you know what? It's a chance to exercise some demons, right?
I think, actually, I don't think they can catch the Steelers. The Steelers are going to be the first wild card team, which makes them the 5th seed. If the Chiefs are the 6th seed, they would play the 3, and they'd be right back here. Because I think the Broncos will be the 3 seed.
Oh, yeah.
So
that'd be something.
Yeah, it would be something. Another trip back to Denver.
And this game was pretty chippy, too. Like, these guys were going after each other. And, kudos to the Chiefs. I'd give them a fake triple air horn, right? Right? For standing up to these guys, man.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know how many times I've watched the Denver Broncos bully these cats.
Finally.
For 3 years I've watched this. And they stood up, and I thought Ja Reed stood up. Like, he got a chance to take a shot on Von Miller. He took it. So good for you. Like, you get the penalty, so what? Make it a point. I don't know if any Bronco has hit. I don't know if any defensive player has hit Alex Smith more the last 3 years than Von Miller, and hard shots too. So yeah, you know
Some
what?
of them late.
Yeah. So go ahead, get yours on him.
Yeah.
Jeremy Maclin, he got his. Hey, you got to stand up to these guys. That's what Denver is. They're bullies. They're gonna try and do that to you. So the Chiefs showed that, hey, we're not gonna take it. And this is a real macho, simplified thing, but that's football.
Yeah.
That's what it is. As Pacino would say, that's football, guys. that's what it is. So thanks for watching this extended edition of 3 and Out. We're gonna see you next week, Vahe. We do miss you, but we got to see a good game, and we hope you guys enjoyed it too. So for Sam and Blair, this is Terez, Paylor from the Star signing off. See you.